Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's February 9th at 7 p.m., so I'm calling to order the Shade Tree Commission. We'll establish a quorum. We're barely a quorum. One member is missing, and we do have some empty spaces that we will need to do something about in the near future. Approval of the December minutes. I'm not sure if you got that. I sent them to. Okay. So do I have a motion to accept the December 2022 minutes?
I so motion.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thank you. On the first, the first agenda item tonight is a Title 33 tree permit right-of-way issues. And this is involving 27 South May Avenue, otherwise known the Leaning Tower of May Avenue.
That's right.
Leaning tree. So the homeowners are here to plead their case before us so we can make informed decisions about how you can go about what you need to do in the best way, and we can support you. So would you like to come up and...
Sure.
And
Where would you like me to stand?
You have
right there,
and,
at the, you get the podium.
and make sure you say your name and address.
Hi, my name is Tracy Kitts, and I live at 27 South May Avenue here in Athens.
Hello. Thank you for coming.
Great. So tell us your story.
Okay, so we have a mature tree in the right-of-way in front of our house, right on the property line. Starting about a year ago, we started to notice that the tree, which we have pictures, by the way, but only on my wife's phone, but the tree was upright, completely upright, nice and vertical and in pretty good shape. And there was some excavation on our neighbor's property. And since then, the tree is continuing to lean farther and farther. So when we first contacted, we talked to a tree service to see if we could get it trimmed up and take some weight off of it. And the tree service said, no, that tree has to come down. And he also said, it's in the right of way, you should talk to the city. So then we came to you all. In the meantime, we have discovered that we have a major sewer line problem. Our sewer line runs right under the tree to the tap. The gas line runs under it. The telephone line runs under it. So we've been trying to deal with that. And so then we talked to our plumber, and the plumber said, I'm not going to dig near that tree. Even near that tree, because there's a risk of it coming down. And so everybody is telling us that the tree needs to come down, which we tried to save it. Like, that was our goal going in and contacting the tree service and everything else, but given all the other issues, we think that the tree needs to come down. That said, I would love to work with the tree committee in the city to reestablish a nice new healthy tree once we get everything taken care of that we need to with the lines and everything underneath of it.
Question: how big, how tall, and what's the girth of the tree?
The tree, we have some pictures.
I mean, just as an estimate, yeah.
Yeah, the tree's probably...
It's good.
It's good size, yeah.
You cannot reach around it.
Well,
Yeah.
my concern for you is that we can recommend that you have the tree removed. I do not know whether or not the city would have the budget to help pay for the removal, but at this point, they don't typically do stump removal.
Yeah, we've talked to our plumber about that, and he has some excavating equipment, and so we think we can, get the stump out. We're going to have to be careful, obviously, given all the other lines there. So I've been working with the plumber, and he's actually who got a hold of the gas company to make sure we know where everything is. So yeah, we have, we will, the stump will have to be removed, when we fix the sewer line. So yeah, we understand that the city, and we've been told that. I've talked to Andrew Chicky, and I think Chris and I have, but I mean, I've been told, it would be upon us to get the stump removed.
Okay, so question for code office. If we make a recommendation that the tree should be removed, will the city remove the tree at the city's expense in a timely manner?
Probably not. I think we're not in that area where we're doing tree trimming and tree removal, that's not something I think we would want to be responsible for as a city.
So,
So then, okay,
so my question,
yeah, go ahead.
the tree, from everybody we've talked to, I mean, this tree is going to end up in the road. I mean, luckily, it's not leaning toward our house, but it's leaning toward another tree and the road.
Right.
And I haven't measured recently, but I mean, it is still moving. It is slowly coming down. So this is a, it's in the right of way, and it is a safety issue. And by the way, that's originally, before I knew about the sewer line issues or everything else, that's why, we were contacting the city.
A day like this makes you wonder.
I'm really concerned about it. I mean, we have, tonight, I'm glad there's no leaves on it.
So,
So,
okay, it's within the purview of the Shade Tree Commission to decide whether or not to recommend the removal of the tree. It's up to City Code Office whether or not that expense will be incurred by the city. And that might require some discussion. But, so I guess for our committee, are we willing to allow the removal of a tree from the right-of-way? And my opinion is yes.
Yes.
Regretfully, it's a terrible loss, and as compensation, if you remove the stump, or if we can cite a tree elsewhere on the city right-of-way, we'd like to work with you. We will supply the tree.
absolutely.
And we will also pay for the planting of that tree. That is what we can do within our purview to authorize that expenditure. But at this point, are we in favor of that?
Yes.
Yes. I think we should take a motion.
Yep.
Do I hear a motion to allow the removal of the tree at 27 South May Avenue?
And also the recommendation that.
And the recommendation that the trunk be removed at the homeowner's expense, and that we work with you afterwards to establish a new tree in the right-of-way.
Yes.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye. So at this point, we are going to have to ask you to work with Code Office to determine whether or not there can be some resolution as to the expense of removing the tree. The city, to my knowledge, has a list of trees for removal. It's based on safety priority, and that they establish a budget based on the number of trees that are on the list, and they'll be able to tell you realistically, do they have the budget and what the timing would be.
Okay.
So I apologize, that part isn't within our purview, but at this point, we have made the recommendation to allow you to proceed.
Okay, great, thank you.
Great.
So-
Any other questions?
No, I'm already talking to a number of people within the city, so I guess we'll just work through that and see if it's a priority tree or not in terms of safety.
Great.
So,
We don't want it
Thank
to
you.
fall on a car. It's
Yeah,
driving,
it's,
so.
no.
And I could take that other tree out, too.
Yeah.
Which probably is.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take limbs off the other tree when it hits.
So, okay.
So,
Thank you for coming
all
in
right,
and
thank you.
working with us. Okay. Next on our agenda, we don't have any Title 37 issues or maintenance of tree canopy issues. New business. Okay, I have some new business. And I'd like to say that Nancy Walker has just joined our quorum. We missed you. New business. Okay, the mayor has, if you would like to leave, you're more than welcome. You don't have to sit here.
You're stuck for the duration. Have a good night, guys.
The mayor has made some requests of the boards and commissions of the city. And this is to help get the boards and commissions to work together and do some of the things that we can do that we all have in common, sort of thing. One of the things they want to do to professionalize the boards and commissions is to make sure that all the boards and commissions have bylaws. And so they have provided a neat little template to start writing our bylaws with. I have looked at bylaws. We don't have any set, though I have seen other bylaws. So I will take the first stab at filling in the template, and then I will send it around for comment. How's that?
Sounds
Okay.
Sounds good.
And if I get stuck, I'll just call out for somebody. So it shouldn't take too terribly long.
Are part of the bylaws a decision whether or not we're going to be broadcasting
It could be, yes,
Broadcasting what?
on the video.
on the video? So there have been discussions about whether or not we want to continue to be live entertainment for everybody at home. Hello.
It's so, it doesn't seem to touch us that much. It doesn't affect what we do, I don't think, one way or the other.
No, but if we decide that we don't want to be public, we do have to declare that, because right now, it does say that we do.
I mean, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be.
Oh, I don't know that we should or shouldn't be. It has been discussed whether or not we should or shouldn't be.
Right. We
It
might be able to use that time.
Well, you want to talk about what those discussions were, because I haven't heard any.
We've had a few where, especially Chris has brought up whether or not it's important that we have videotaped or live presentation meetings. We do have to have open meetings and meetings that are declared 24 hours in advance, but many of the other commissions don't actually broadcast. And so the question was, should we? And I was like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't have an opinion, honestly.
I mean, it seems like if there's some purpose that it serves, we should be aware of that. And
I know that a few people do listen, like Ann Bonner tends to listen, and the fact that we videotape it and then put it on the website, I know that some people look at it.
Well, then that's enough for me.
Right. We might be able to use the time, too, for other things like videos and stuff. If we have a really short meeting, or if we don't have a meeting, we can still use that time, sort of thing. Okay, so I will draft those out, and then I'll star the ones that we need to discuss, and then we can go forward with those.
Okay.
Okay. There's a all-board commission gathering on the 23rd of March from 5:30 to 6:30 at the community center. And we had one of these a couple years ago before,
did.
before COVID. The idea here is to reacquaint ourselves with all the different boards and commissions that we have and the people who are on them, and let everybody else know what's going on with your board and commission. And then there's going to be opportunity for people to mingle and get together and maybe seeing where we can cross-pollinate and those sort of things. So it's an opportunity to network and to find people who are on really cool boards that you never even knew existed. So, okay. Any questions about that?
Is there a reason why we're doing this?
It was something that happened before COVID, and people seem to enjoy. And that's why it's being redone again. So, that's why.
Just because people enjoyed it?
People got a lot of information out of it, and the mayor and Chris Knisley have been trying to get boards and commissions to work better together. So,
You will enjoy it.
You will.
Well, I was there and I don't remember anything mammoth happening.
well, Lisa, our law director, scared us all about the sunshine rules. People still talk about that meeting. So,
That was in here.
yeah. So there was also another one at the community center before COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like, yes. It was
March 23rd.
March 23rd. Okay. Also something, we had a meeting of all the board and commissioner chair people. That's why I know this. It's not because I'm pick these things out of the air. That it would be really fun if the city gave more awards away. Right now, we only give really one award away. And so it was suggested that all the commissions and people think about what sort of award that our commission can give out. And just kind of think about those ideas, and then we can talk about them at the all boards commission gathering. But that's something that they want people to start thinking about. I think ours is probably easier to think about awards than, say, the taxi board. So, you might be able to do it, I don't know. But it's something, and so everybody's thinking about all the different boards. Question?
Best new taxi.
Yeah. The golden taxi.
Right, yeah.
When we're finally ready, it would be fun to do something with the pollinator gardens.
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly.
Kick that off.
And I'm IDing people, maybe groups that have really helped and stuff, so. I think, it's just right now, the Disability Commission gives an award away, and that's the only real award that we have. So, that's kind
We've
of,
had some great community partners who we could recognize with our tree planting from last year.
yep, yep. So-
Well, I remember when we had, what's that flower thing, the one that you were a part of?
Oh, Athens in Bloom?
Yeah, when we did Athens and Bloom, we went to different houses and looked at their yards and chose some that we thought were really good.
Yep.
And that might be something we could think about doing.
With the pollinator
It was
gardens.
fun to do, too.
Yeah.
to see
It is
what
fun to
people's
do.
stuff.
Right.
It is fun to do. I agree.
Yeah.
People like
So,
awards.
maybe also look at other cities and see the sort of things that they have.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good idea.
great. Okay. That's all the mayor's requests.
Okay.
Next, we have city neighborhood tree planting. Nancy asked for this to be put on. And what was your question?
Well, I talked to Andrew after I talked to you, and he doesn't know that what the funding is going to be for it, so I guess we just aren't going to.
Actually, we do know now. Yeah, we got our budget. We got a little bit more.
No,
So-
his end doesn't know about how much money they have to do the trunk removal.
Oh, you're talking about the stump removal, yeah. He doesn't know how much for stump removal, but we did get our tree planting budget,
How much?
5,000.
How many trees is that?
33. And we also heard from the Voinovich School, and they have a $5,000 grant. So we'll be able to plant along the riparian again, the area.
Nice.
How are we standing with the Menard trees?
We have several, we have hundreds still. Yeah,
How
hundreds.
many- there
We
was-
started with 300 and something at least. So, yeah, we have a lot of trees. We're gonna be in trees for a while.
Cool.
A good thing, the Near East / Far East neighborhood put on their Facebook post how we were doing tree plantings this fall, and they had asked me whether or not I thought we would do it again, and I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure we are, and I already have 6 or 7 people who are like, if you're gonna do it, let me know.
They put it in our newsletter too.
Oh,
for-
good,
for our
good.
use. And we're having a soup supper on the 19th.
Nice.
And I thought
Oh,
I could
that's
say
right.
something about it, but I didn't
Yes,
want to
please.
say it if we weren't sure of the month.
Yes, so we're going to be doing it. It's going to be a fall planting only. If we have money in the city budget, we will try and do some stump removals in the spring and summer.
Could we use money? We don't have money, we just have trees.
No, it would not come out of our budget. It might come out of the city budget. Andrew's trying to see. What he has suggested, and I didn't put this on the agenda, but I can talk a little bit. It helps the price for the planting if we focus on specific neighborhoods. And so far, we have quite a few around Charles Street, which is where we planted last time.
There's only 2 on Charles Street.
Yeah, there are 2 on Charles Street, but we have 2 more. Out of those 7, there are 2 more. And Avon Place also has asked because they saw the trees.
Yes.
And so now they want more trees. So I think that when we get ready for this, we probably need a task force of interested individuals who want to take this on. Yay! And then we can figure out a process that's a little bit less intensive than last time. And also we have to work with the city a little bit. They had problems tracking the cost of the trees that were planted, and they might have gone over budget last year. They're still trying to figure it out because the invoices came in at different times as they planted individual
They're
trees.
nice trees, nice-sized trees.
They are really nice. Hopefully, they're going to be great. The dog park trees look good too. But for a future agenda item, I think we should talk about the process of the city plantings and then figure out how we're going to do it. And Nancy, if you want to take the lead on that, I will bow to you, kiss your
I don't
feet,
want
whatever
to.
I need to do. Because
I don't want to take away your trees, I just wanted to,
please take them.
I just wanted to volunteer to help out with it. But, what was I gonna say? Oh, also, part of that was, you said that you went as a group to look at each site to make sure it was a good one. And I don't know what those parameters are. I mean, I'm not sure what your measurements are. Like you talked about it being,
Yeah.
sometimes being not,
There are lots of different things to consider.
being
And
hard, the ground being hard.
yeah, I think that's something that as a group we could come up with, like a checklist of when you do,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
you know,
For instance, how do you tell whether the ground is compacted or not?
you bring a steak with you and you just, no, literally, that's what you do. Or you ask them for a shovel. It's really easy to tell. You'll know. When it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah, let's come up with a checklist. I
Yeah.
think it'd be great.
So we
That
can,
can be a problem in the fall if it's dried out. I mean, you're talking about fall plantings. That could be tricky.
well, the reason why we want to do full plantings is it's just less water maintenance and the trees
Listen,
just
I
survive
planted
better.
trees in the spring before, and it was awful. I mean, I spent the whole summer.
But what Greenleaf likes to do is they like to wait after some rain. Because if it's a hot, they don't plant until typically November, they
Yeah,
said.
They plant good.
So it's not hard due to dryness, but Charles Street is bad.
Okay.
It's got a lot of utility issues with it as well.
Have you been on Euclid? The first block of Euclid is, 8 houses on each side of the street.
Right.
There are a total of 3 shade trees.
You've counted
I
them.
mean,
Well, and that might make sense. I'm not saying that we have to do everything around Charles Street, but you want to make sure that if you do a street, you do a street. It's more cost effective. But the neighbors are taking care of their trees, so that's nice. Nice
Yeah,
that that's happening.
That's great to hear that more people have called. I wondered if that would
They're
happen.
excited.
Where do they see these trees?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe what we need to do is come up with, like, what were the problems and stuff with the project, and then we can address them, so.
If Nancy, we can meet at some point, it's that way we only keep to 2 people, and between the 2 of us, I bet we could come up with some
Jim was
stuff.
part of the tree thing, wasn't he?
Right, but we can only meet 2 of us.
Oh,
And then we can do something and share it with Jim, and then he can give his feedback.
Or we can take turns or
Or,
something.
yeah, or you can take turns with, the 2 of you can meet.
Well, just as a heads up, not to throw out the sunshine or anything, but if 2 people have a conversation and then they go and they like sort of piggyback to the next people, like playing telephone, that's not allowed. Just, so, be careful.
Okay,
Don't disappoint Lisa.
okay. Thank you for the warning.
I'm petrified of violating
Oh,
sunshine
well,
laws.
yeah.
I don't talk about anything with anyone.
Did I read that you weren't running again? Is that-
I'm not. Nope.
You're not?
Nope. One and done for me.
Well,
Stuck
thank
with me
you
for the
your
rest of the
service.
year.
Are you
for
going to
now.
go vacationing with your mom?
No, I'm house sitting for them when they go vacationing.
All right,
I'm just
okay.
tired of going like that.
Next on our agenda, if there's no other discussion about trees, planting in the neighborhood, okay. The East Side Solar Project. I got this just recently.
I spoke to Andrew.
Yes.
Couple concerns. We've
What is
been, okay, so they are planning to bring in a utility company, Kokosig Industrial?
Yep, Kokosing, and they just bought out Third Sun Solar.
Okay, and they want to put some solar panels over West State Street. We have been planning.
State Street.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
East State Street, the dog.
Oh, sorry, yes.
The dog park. is what they're
Yeah,
calling it.
east. I did say west,
That's where my
sorry.
dog goes.
Yeah,
That's
that-
what I know.
Yeah, well, now your dog's gonna get fried. If you guys, sorry, hot dog. Sorry.
Not funny.
See, we can be entertaining here. So, there are trees that need to be removed. And at first, it was thought, well, it's a city project. They want our input, which is fabulous. And I pushed back and I said, no, this is a development project. We should treat it as a development project. And Andrew said that they were amenable. It's somewhat questionable. It's city property. The city will maintain the property, but they're in a partnership with an external developer. So as you guys know, if it's a city project, we basically make recommendations. If it's a development project, they have to meet the specifications of, what is it, Title
41.
30, what?
Title 41, site plan development.
Yeah, but also, is it Title 33 or Title 37? I always forget.
37 landscaping.
Thank
yeah.
you. So this is what Andrew suggests. For every tree that they have to remove, they will cite a tree, shade tree, on the adjacent lot. They will try to save,
Adjacent lot, which way?
there's a lot that's adjacent to that. So it would, I think it's this over here.
Over there.
That's the current dog park.
What?
This right
That's where the
here.
dog park got moved to, right?
Yeah,
No,
right back here,
oh,
right there, but the one that they,
okay.
So basically,
I'm looking at it the wrong
it's
way.
the community center area
Yes,
where they will
it
put
is.
the trees. And they said they will
think so.
try and save some of the small trees, but if it's moved, they replace it. So,
There are very few trees in Woodbury. That was part of the problem.
yeah, there are very few trees that I think that they can actually save, you
it
know?
just, the idea, I remember when the university saved that, what was it, a pine tree or something? Oh, I mean, what a waste of money.
It's
Well, these are
very
little, these are younger
These are little trees, but still, I mean,
And,
it's,
and
it
they're,
would,
and they're fairly young, so they probably are worth,
yeah, but that means we're gonna have to make sure somebody babysits them for a couple of years
So
and stuff.
they're gonna talk to Kevin's crew, the city crew, to determine whether or not the city could move some of them. I personally don't recommend having Greenleaf come in and move these trees for a few $100s each when the
Unless they
chances of
guarantee it or
them are surviving, no. I mean, it's gonna be really low. So basically what he's saying is if we have to move or we have to cut down a tree, we plant a new tree, no matter
that
what.
sounds
And if we
better.
can save some, we save some. And I was like, that sounds equitable. But then I said one other thing. Shade Tree isn't paying for it out of our budget. And he went, okay. So basically the deal is the city replaces a tree for a tree, and that the planting, that they can take the trees from the tree bank, that's great, but the cost of the tree planting will actually be paid as a project cost out of the city budget. So what do y'all think about that
sounds okay.
negotiation?
Yeah,
sounds good.
sounds good. Do we need to vote on it?
Yeah.
It's really been such a nice place for me. I have hard trouble accepting it, but other than that,
Yeah, no, I
So the
agree.
footprint is gonna be this entire softball field,
well, they're gonna put.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
And they are putting underneath it, I think it was in the email as well, but it'll be
Pollinators.
all pollinator
Yeah.
stuff planted around them. When they
Pollinator.
install the solar panels, around the solar panels, they're gonna plant pollinators. So
Which
it
I
won't just be dirt.
Right, which I find interesting just because they'll be zapping insects left and right, but I think that we can talk to him about that.
Right.
What do you mean
The,
by zapping now?
If you talk to,
The solar panels can concentrate light,
It's too hot?
so,
They've
land on that.
done this, actually. Andrew followed some of the research
Yeah.
that we brought because Hudson Valley has been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, you just plant lower things.
Yeah.
That's what you learn,
Yeah.
is that you have to plant low.
Actually, they did some pollinator over at the water treatment plant underneath those, if people want to go and check it out.
Very cool.
And these will be fenced, I assume? I would accept, right?
Well, in the course of all the
I don't
discussions,
know.
is
I
there
don't
any
know.
possibility that they can enlarge the dog parks that there's, I mean, they're so tiny.
I mean, that was the dog park.
Yeah, I would say that it's not under the purview of Shade Tree Commission, but I would say that you should talk to Catherine Ann, because you will not be the only person who has asked that question. So, yeah, I think you could raise it as a citizen,
Yeah, I talked to her about it once before. Not,
because we agree.
Would we have say as to
Denise
where
has
the
asked.
plants, trees get planted in this?
Yes,
area?
yes. Oh, that is another thing that should be noted, is that the city should work with the Shade Tree Commission on the selection of the trees and the placement of the trees, which
Okay.
would be consistent with Title.
so far, they look
37.
great. I think that was really,
Okay, help me write this motion.
Okay, so the motion is that Shade Tree approves the removal of trees necessary to install the East Side Solar Project based on the following. Trees will be replaced one for one. City should use the tree bank and pay for planting out of the city budget, not the Shade Tree Commission budget, and that the city should consult with Shade Tree on the types of trees and location.
Okay,
There's nothing in there about moving the little guys.
Oh, yeah, and any trees that are moved still have to be replaced, one for one, and will count as a bonus.
and that should be done under the city purview, not the,
Well, if they want to pay for it,
Okay.
but yeah. Once again,
Okay.
we don't pay for it.
right? Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so do I hear a motion to accept the shade tree approval for this particular project?
I make a motion.
Second?
Yes?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those who not? Okay, thank you.
Okay, David. You want a what?
I'm good.
No, you have to talk to us about the trimming of sycamores. It's not going to be so bad.
I am not familiar with that one. Is that the,
Oh, okay, it's the West Union Street
Union Street,
project. Yeah.
so this is by the cemetery, is that correct?
I think
I
it's
think it
on
was
the
the other one
across the
from the VHF.
yeah.
Where Slices? Athens Realty,
Yeah.
down in that area, there's those sycamores that are sitting there kind of in the drainage ditch, isn't that the ones that they're talking
I
about?
think it's
Yeah.
the one that's over by oh gosh, what's that little
The
red
store
building?
store Next to that?
It's on West Union, right? That it
It's down past Restore, like before the red.
Yeah,
be-
exactly.
Across from Larry's Doghouse.
yes,
In that area.
That's right. Across from Larry's Doghouse.
There's
So
like 4 of them.
yeah, there are trees there, and Jessica, I believe that Jessica at first was concerned that we were going to have to divert a road or something into that area, and they were able to redo the project such that they were able to save the trees, but the trees are still going to cause an issue and need to be trimmed. But the problem is that when the city contracted for the trees to be trimmed over by the cemetery, that they were not trimmed what we would consider properly. And Ann Bonner worked with the city and offered that if there were future pruning needed, that she would work with the city to identify a certified arborist who would help oversee the project. And I spoke to Andrew. He mentioned that the city does want to proceed with this, is willing to work with Ann and use her recommendation for a certified arborist who will help oversee the pruning of the trees. And I thought that, I personally think that it's necessary, though they do need to be trimmed, but, and having a certified arborist who, you know, Ann oversees, I'm like, yeah,
Make all the difference in the world.
yeah.
When they first were planning this and they had their open house, they said everything was going to be fine.
Yeah.
Trees will not be.
And then they find out where the sewer is, and the fact that they thought was a line wasn't a line. I mean, there's these sort of issues that come up all the time. Like there's an easement that you never even really knew was there, or you needed an easement for such things as
I would like to say one thing. You know, we've occasionally been kind of miffed with the city and said, why didn't you ask? Title, whatever says you're supposed to ask. And here they're asking. This is a city project that theoretically they just could have said, hey, we're doing it. And instead they're asking our opinion, and
That is nice.
they're actually telling us that this was the plan, that we're like, oh yeah, that would have been our plan. I love it. I feel like we're having a really positive influence on them, and I think that they're having
Well, I
a positive
think-
influence on us, helping us to understand what are
It's
some of
pretty
the
apparent
issues.
from my point of view, or from my
Yeah.
standpoint, that your relationship has helped that a long way.
I think everybody's relationship. I think
I
the
don't have
fact
any
that that
relationship.
gentleman over there comes to every single one of our meetings, the fact that she has been going out to communities, the fact that he represents us on council, the fact that you're yakking up this tree program that you're going to take over, and Jim was the one who actually helped us determine where to put the trees. So all of us can take credit for something. We're working well together.
Yep.
So,
So do we want
but
to,
thank you.
do we want
for
to
the
have some kind
compliment.
of recommendation that we feel comfortable with what the city has proposed and that we're happy that we're working
Yeah.
together?
I would propose that the city proceed with the tree trimming with the caveat that they work with Ann Bonner to identify a certified arborist who can consult on the project.
Okay. Do we want to make a motion as a recommendation? So I move that we do what she just said. City proceed with trimming, well, Ann Bonner and certified arborists.
Sounds good.
Do I have a second? Okay.
All in
thank you.
favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, cool. That, boys and girls,
We had the tree in the house next door to me had gas away trim it, and it's just a beautiful job. He could have made a big mess of it. And
Oh,
he just-
yeah.
People know what some people just know what to do.
Good.
yeah, cool. Any other discussion on that? Okay. One of the last items on our agenda tonight is the pedestrian report review.
What is that?
Okay. The city council, through an ad hoc committee, has been working with a sidewalk review and recommendations project.
Oh, yeah.
That was presented to council last Monday. And from what I understood is that they thought that they should talk to us about it, and they thought of that on Monday. So,
It was something about trees interfering with sidewalks, and
Right.
if trees in the city right of way destroy a sidewalk, then the city should replace.
right, there's some sections that seem to need more input from the tree people. So, I can get you a copy of the report. They have 52 different recommendations. So if you want to make any sort of comment or review on it, I can get you the copy of
52 recommendations for,
about sidewalks in the city of Athens.
not all of them about trees, though.
No, but they have recommendations that do involve trees, so.
Can we put that on the agenda for the next meeting, or is that going to be too late?
As far as submitting comments for editing, that'll be too late.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I know they did say that they wanted Shade Tree's feedback. I mean, so
Right.
even if it affects the report they end up finalizing, I think it would still be beneficial to have that conversation.
Right.
So.
So, yeah, like, let's think about it, people who want to review it, and then we
If you
can,
send out, then we
Yeah,
could.
But
do it
if
ahead
we
of time.
send it out,
Yes.
we can't discuss it amongst
No.
ourselves. We can only, as individuals, give feedback.
right. So, well, we
And
can
that's
talk
not
about
really
it.
shade tree then.
No, but we could give,
That's
we could come to the meeting.
Right, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing. I've been asked personally by some people on the committee or associated with committee to just please review it. And as that, please review it, I would review it as me.
Okay.
So if people want to review it and put forward comments about it, I will forward it to the
So
committee.
we can't discuss it at next time's meeting?
We can, but it will have already passed at that point.
They couldn't put it on, well, I guess.
So I guess what I would like to reflect in the minutes is that because we appreciate the request for feedback, but because
Wasn't
of
timely
the
enough.
timelines, we will only be able to provide feedback as individuals, not as Shade Tree.
Yeah. Yeah, because they want people in general to comment on it, so.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a fair thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it.
Is that on the city drive, the whole report?
It's somewhere. I'll find it and send it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just getting like email Debbie.
I mean,
She's the keeper of all
she
the
is.
brains.
If
Oh
you
my
need
gosh.
anything, she's probably got it.
Yep, she does. So, any other concerns or questions about that?
I guess not, I don't know anything about it, so not hard to be concerned.
Well, it's been going on for a while, and
No, no, I
it's
know
probably-
that, but I
yeah.
didn't know they were gonna share it with us. And what it
Well, they
sounds
thought,
like.
I think that they kind of thought about it at the last minute, sort of thing.
Okay.
So, I think that it's good for us to be able to say, hey, we may not have a permitting purview over it, because it might not be 41 or the other, but we have expertise, and that we're here to
Well, I
help.
especially want them to hear from Ann. about
Well,
the-
actually, we do have purview. Sidewalks are right away.
Right.
Trees are right away.
Yes.
It is our purview.
But I don't mean, you know what I mean.
No,
When
I
working with
do,
us,
I
right.
do know what you mean.
Right.
My concern, and here's my concern, I'm happy to provide input as an individual. As I provide input as an individual, if I feel that this is a shade tree violation, my recommendation is going to be, you need to wait for shade tree to provide comment. That's my only thing, but that would have happened anyway.
Well, tell them thanks, and next time would they please let us know ahead of time so we can put things.
I don't think it was intentional.
It
It was
wasn't.
just like, oh, yeah.
Well,
They're
and
trees.
this goes right back to one of our information from before about the all boards, commissions, and
That's why we're meeting
gathering.
on March 23rd.
Yes, and so that's something that, might come out in conversation, that we need to make sure that all the boards know what's going on and that the city and commissions have access to them.
Don't touch our trees.
I know. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Any other thing?
I have an unrelated item. Did we hear back from Tree City USA?
I haven't. Have you? Would
I-
they have contacted Patty?
Probably Andrew. So, I will text Andrew.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
No, I haven't heard anything, so.
I have a
supposed to
question
be.
about the
Your mom
memorial
deserves to know.
trees. I do. David, have you gotten any other requests for memorial trees?
I have not.
Do you think anybody knows anything about it? Do you think it's well-known that?
Probably not. Probably could use.
Where would they go? Do you know where are we gonna put them?
My recommendation would be to get a spot on the city website
No, I
And,
mean, where are you gonna put the trees?
oh, that would be up to probably Catherine Ann, with the Arts Parks and Rec.
What are her choices? I mean, what are,
I would leave that, let that
I
up to
think her
her.
priority right now is around the community center. She's been wanting to build that out, where we planted trees.
there's one there. I wondered if it was ours. Is that our memorial tree?
I know that they want to plant more trees over there, and they're going to when they have to, you know.
No, I mean, there's a memorial tree with a little plaque and stuff.
Yeah, you're right, there are memorials.
There's a memorial tree in the front of the community center.
Was that just happened in the past? And
That happened
before?
because
Long ago.
that was a long time
Yeah,
ago.
it
But it
happened
was because it's a memorial for somebody who was working at the community center, so. But that's something that we should probably
It was
put,
a university person, I think.
there's a person also part of the worker person. Maybe there were two.
One
Are
of
there
their
two?
staff, yeah.
So, but maybe that's something that we need to put
Well,
in
here-
for an
I don't know where I
agenda.
got this. I don't know whether this is one of our, whether we all got it. But there's a,
Oh, yeah, I sent this out when it was,
I mean, maybe we should try and talk about that.
yeah, when the update of the landscape ordinance was going through, I found this as an example of the memorial tree, so.
But I agree that as part of the tree planting project for this fall, maybe we want to think about advertising the memorial tree program as part of it, so we can plant even more trees. One of the things I asked Andrew, and we didn't get any feedback on, is can the city fundraise? Because we have the trees in the tree bank, so if we could raise $154, we could plant a tree. And I think that there would be a lot of people in the community who would plant a tree for $154. It competes a little bit with the Memorial Tree Program, but the Memorial Tree Program comes with a plaque and a guarantee of life of the tree for ad infinitum, basically. Whereas ours, you know, we just promise to plant the tree and take care of it as best as we can, but no plaque. So it might be a good thing to do this
Do we have a
fall.
cost for it?
Yeah, it's $154.
No, the memorial trees.
I
That
think
was
it's
put in for
500,
400.
or was it 4 or 500? I can't. Yeah, but it's entitled now,
Yeah.
right?
Title I.
Yeah.
One thing that this coming, I am working with the community people at the university who does the community work study. And I'm going to have a work study student who can work on projects like this. She's a planner
We have one of
person.
these that she can work on.
Well, I mean, that's something that we can work on the summer. She'll be able to work on projects.
By the way, Andrew just got back to us and said, no, he hasn't heard yet.
Okay,
If you're listening online, hi.
great. Okay, but that's something that I would like to beef up the pollinator and the memorial tree
Yes,
and do a
yes,
lot more
yes,
education
yes.
at some point, so,
I agree.
okay, cool.
Yep.
Any other questions or anything? At some point, we're going to have to figure out who's going to be a secretary for the group.
Not me.
Not me. Maybe we need to identify a new member who wants to be a secretary.
I'm working on new members.
Okay.
So Michael Lincoln, who is a master gardener, has said he wants to join. And so I have his bio to share with the mayor.
I never
And I've
heard of
also, what?
I'm a master gardener and I don't know him.
Oh, he came in 2 years ago. I think he was in the theater department. You'll like him. He's
No, I
great.
say I'm a master gardener and I don't know him.
Yes, but you should know him because he's a master gardener. And also Deb Daniels.
I know her.
Yeah, I think they were in the same class together. And I've asked her, but I haven't heard back yet. So if
Yeah,
there's
I've
anybody
asked
else,
several master gardeners and they all say, I don't want to be on a meeting.
Look how much fun we have. So, anyway, any other items for the good of the, okay. So, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
yes, please.
Second?
Second.
Thank you.